This was me one Saturday morning back at the start of summer, and I needed to get out of the studio and head out into the countryside to get some fresh inspiration for my next painting. It was really good to get out on the local footpaths, especially around here. They're called Wherryman's Way. It's basically a really long distance walking trail that follows the River Yare, which is close to where I live. For me, it was really good to go out and get that inspiration and then also come back into the studio, and I was really eager to start cracking on because I've been really busy recently with trying to convert the garage into a print studio room. Here's some footage of how that's coming along. As you can see, I'm trying to put up some plasterboard. Now this is also insulation board above it, and it's also a case of me having to go into the loft and put physical insulation up there as well. I've also had to come up with a bit of a system to try and hook that insulation in place whilst I put the boards above. But yeah, managed to get all of that done. And then it was a case to crack on and start insulating the walls. And as you can see, it's been quite a time-consuming process. Anyway, that's enough of the garage update. Now back to this video. I had the photo on the iPad as a reference photo, and it was time to grab a pencil and start placing in some of those marks of the painting that I want to actually paint. I always find this a good process because it sort of warms your arm up as opposed to going straight in with a paintbrush, and you can sort of judge where those marks are going to be in relation to how you want your painting to look. And just by me taking in that Norfolk fresh air on that walk, it was time to mix up some blue paint and try and represent part of that sky that I saw. I use a small water spray bottle and a paintbrush just to wet the area, and I find that really helps to get that blue paint spread on your canvas quickly. This entire painting I'm just using Winsor & Newton acrylic paint. Then it was time to grab the old palette knife, and I like to palette knife my clouds in my scene. And just because I live in Norfolk, we have some really over dramatic skies here. I think it's because the land is quite flat, so you get a really good panoramic view of a sky. And what I like to create in my sky is, I do like to see that you've used the palette knife so you can see those marks. And then what I do is I go in with a dry brush and I start to blend in some of those clouds to make those look a little bit more realistic. But my type of style in painting, I don't like to paint too realistic. I do like it quite painterly as well. But as I paint this, I'm just going to let this play through to the next stage. So sit back, relax and enjoy this quick segment of me painting this sky. Well, very good morning. I've let this dry overnight and it's completely dry, and now it's time to tackle the foreground field, as you can see from the iPad in the corner. And it's quite interesting because on the day, that wasn't the focus of what I wanted to take a picture of. It was that building that I wanted to take a picture of, and that was the inspiration for this painting, was to go out for a walk. And I found that location and thought, that's great. But on the way back, I snapped this photo, and that's got more of an interest to me than the actual building. I think it's because it's just a bit more of a calmer photo, and the lighting on the day, because the sun was shining in that direction, just come out, I don't know, that's got more feeling to me than the actual building itself. So let's crack on, get the bottom of this finished. And now this is dry, we'll be able to paint our tree lines in on top of this, because we're just using acrylic paint. As I'm editing this video back, I'm not entirely sure why this paint looks so vibrant, and for some reason it didn't come out that vibrant when I was painting it. It must be sort of the camera settings, the saturation might be a little bit too high on the camera. But yeah, it's quite a vibrant green, but in real life it isn't as vibrant as this. And all I'm trying to do here is just paint in those light and dark areas that I'm just referencing back to the main photograph itself. Once I got that base layer of paint in, it was time to pick up the palette knife, and I'm just putting in the marks of that field itself. Had some really striking, definite sort of tractor mark lines going all the way down the field, so I wanted to try and capture that energy. And there were several different techniques that I use in a minute, but one of them was using the side of a palette knife and just making those marks in the fresh paint that I've just put down. This was another technique that I wanted to show you. I'm just wetting the paint with my mist spray bottle. I'm using newspaper and then going over the newspaper with the palette knife. And this gives a really nice texture to the paint underneath. And by doing this technique, it creates some really interesting marks on the paint itself. The paper sort of withdraws some of the paint from the painting, which leaves a really nice textured effect as though you spent hours painting it. And then you've got to decide, do you want to then go over with another layer? So it was time to pull out my blowtorch and just dry off some of this paint so I can continue painting this in one session. I then had a bit of an idea. I thought if I could cut the strips of paper into slivers, I could then somehow create those lines or those marks in a bit more of a different style by using these as a bit of a mask, I thought in my head. So here I am sort of applying this onto the painting itself and then spraying over the top with a mist of water, and then I'm just using a rubber roller to push down on that newspaper, dab off some of the paint, and I'm hoping it's going to leave some interesting marks. So this is quite experimental. I do like to experiment. I've let that newspaper dry on the painting, and then we're going to paint over the top of it. And hopefully the thought process behind it is going to leave some really nice mark making. So yeah, you can obviously try this at home as well. This is a complete experiment, never done this before. But in my head I wanted to get some kind of mark making that followed the pattern of the field. And so in the picture in the background, I've noticed that there's some dark areas in this field. So I think once we add the dark paint on top of the newspaper and peel away the newspaper, should leave some interesting marks. Okay, let's carry on. Well, that was the plan, and it was to paint over the top, as I said, of the newspaper. So with that newspaper being stuck down, I'm then painting over the top. And over the course of this next little session, I'm going to leave this to play, but all I'm really doing is repeating the process of layering up that paint over the top of that newspaper.
Some dreams will just have to cry.
Well, you could probably see me fighting with that. That didn't work too well, but that's what I'm here for me to make the mistakes and for you to not make my mistakes. So it's all about a learning curve, but I'm quite happy that the way the newspaper has stuck to the actual painting, because it's all part of the process for me. But I'm going to give it another try. I've cut up some more strips of newspaper and I'm going to layer them on again, but this time I'm not going to let the paint dry, because that was the problem. The paint dried, and then trying to peel off the newspaper, it was just stuck too much to the paint. Let's get some more strips of newspaper embedded into this bottom section and try and achieve that effect that I've got in my head. So it's perseverance time, and it's time to try and create that same effect again, but not letting that newspaper stick to the actual canvas itself. I do think the mark making is starting to come alive by using this process. So I think if you're doing this, carry on, stick through it, and you'll create some really interesting marks. And again, I'm going to let this play out so you can sort of see the process of what I'm doing here. But do feel free to give this a go. You'll create some really interesting marks by using some sort of newspaper and using it as a mask to create some really interesting lines.
How do I deal with what I'm feeling? Maybe I just don't. What you do helps me forget about you. You just came out of the blue. If you only knew. Let's sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. Go to a field, pick up some strawberries. Then maybe let's fall in love. Sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. To a field, pick up some strawberries. Then maybe let's fall in love. Sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant.
I got to a stage where I was really happy with that foreground field and the way that those lines and that field was sort of incorporating the foreground. It was then time to pull out the detail brush and start putting in some of that tree line.
Forever loving till eternity. I see you. Can't you see what you're doing to me? The way you got me, baby, it's like I can't even breathe. You're all that I need. And I know nothing I do helps me forget about you. You just came out of the blue. If you only knew. Let's sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. Go to a field, pick up some strawberries. Then maybe let's fall in love. Sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. To a field, pick up some strawberries. Then maybe let's fall in love. Sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant. To a field, pick up some strawberries.
In my hand I have a set of makeup brushes. Now I guarantee my wife doesn't know this tip. And the theory behind using makeup brushes, I want to try and use some makeup brushes to create the trees because they've got like a bit of a fanned head, and I'm thinking I can stipple brush around the trees with these makeup brushes. So hope it works. I think it will work, and this is something that you can try at home as well if it does. As I say, those makeup brushes, there will be a link in the description down below where you can pick those up, along with all the other paints that I've used in this video. And these makeup brushes were a really good tool to create really fast trees. So yeah, give that a go as well. But I just want to point out as well, makeup brush, a dry makeup brush is really good at blending as well. You can really blend your acrylic paints together as long as it's dry. Yeah, they're a real soft brush, so they can blend paint really well. And just one little tip, if you're buying them close to Christmas, buy 2 packs, because if your wife finds out that you've bought a packet of makeup brushes, she's going to expect them for Christmas. So do yourself a favour, get 2 packs, wrap one up for Christmas, and then use the other for your art. So I'm going to let this video play along to the end, and you can sort of see the process of how I'm finishing this painting off. But at this stage, it's really starting to come alive for me. And I'm getting some really good vibes of how I feel about this painting at this stage. Well, that's another painting finished, and that's just me photographing the end result. My final verdict on this painting, I do actually really like this one. The colours, everything about it, I think really works for me. Particularly like the sky. The sky wasn't this exact sky in a day, as you could see. But for me, I do like painting a little bit of an over dramatic sky. And I think really the message in this video is just to go out and about and be inspired by where you live and start painting and start being creative. And if you're still watching this video at this point, it's a really good time to subscribe if you do like to follow my art journey. And I'm going to be doing more out and about videos, destinations and actual places to paint as well. And the verdict on the makeup artist brushes, They worked an absolute treat on the trees. I do highly recommend using makeup brushes to create a real quick and easy tree. There'll be a link down in the description where you can pick up these makeup brushes, which are just from Amazon. And if you're still watching this video, probably now's a good time for you to subscribe to the channel, and also head over to my website, which is flowworks.uk. You can subscribe to my newsletter every time I release a video, and there'll also be a list of the materials that I use for each painting. And not only that, you can go and grab a limited edition print of the actual painting itself. So with all that being said, I'll see you in the next Flowworks video.